I am Baiki Venki, and this is the Working Athlete Podcast. Here, I talk to working athletes from all walks of life and experts from various sports to provide you with inspiration, training tips, time management, and lifestyle advice. If this is something that interests you, please make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any future episodes. Today's guest, Prashant Sudarshan Arkal, lost function of his left leg because of polio when he was just 9 months old. He never did any sports as a kid, but in college he took up bodybuilding and stayed active through kayaking when he started working abroad as an IT engineer. In 2017, he got introduced to para sports by a Singaporean para athlete by chance and fell in love with the freedom of that the sport gave him. He is now a hand cyclist representing India in paracycling events. He is a bronze medalist in 2022 Asian Championship in hand cycling in individual time trial. In this episode, Prashant shares his inspiring journey, which seems to say, where there is a will, there is going to be a way. With that, let us get into my conversation with Prashant. Welcome to the Working Athlete Podcast, Prashant. It is a pleasure having you on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good to be on the show, and thank you for having me here.
Awesome. Prashant, let us start by talking about, uh, your relationship with sport over the years.
I started paracycling in 2017, late June, July 2017, like that. Then slowly developed the interest in the sports. Kind of started liking it a lot, and then the right now I'm in Singapore. I'm training with Singapore national team here. So the Singapore national team coach suggested me that you are very good in the cycling. You are kind of a natural, and you have a potential to be a good cyclist and then compete good national or the international level of the competitions. So from there, actually, I started journey, and then I wasn't initially planning for any competitive level of cycling level training, but then slowly, from the coach backup and then some training with him, right? We're just looking into that. And after participating in one or two national competition, international competitions, it's like this it was amazing. So the experience I cannot just explain you in the words, but it was very awesome experience. So from that, I just decided to continue training into paracycling and then go for as many as competitions as possible. Yeah.
All right. So, for those the listeners who don't know, Prashant is a paracyclist, as in hand cyclist,
Yes.
because you have polio in the legs, right?
Yes. Correct.
And so you cannot use the traditional cycle, but uses a hand cycle
Right.
and participates in paracycling events and has won medals,
Right.
multiple medals at international levels.
Yeah.
So that is what we are going to talk about today in this podcast. Capture his journey and
Yeah.
how it all started and stuff. So, Prashant, uh, you know, from childhood, what was your involvement in sport as growing up?
I was about 9 months old, so I developed a fever, high fever, and then the doctor gave me a polio injection on that fever. So that developed the side effects, and then that impacted my entire lower limb. Okay, and then from after because that time is like 1985, around that time, so there wasn't the medical is not that high level, and then even my parents were not that educated to understand what's exactly going on. So by the time they because I was only 9 months old, they did not know that there was some impact on my legs, or I'm not walking or not using my legs at all. So when they realized there is some impact going on, it was already late. They got to know that upon like after the injection, about 1 to 2 months time, they got to know that I'm not using my legs at all, not moving at all. Then from there they got to know that yeah, it's got the polio impacted, and then they started to do some medications and everything, but did not help it. Then my grandmother, they did some traditional Ayurvedic treatments and stuff. Then with that, they at least managed to get some kind of energy to my right leg. Yeah, so there is some functional use for my right leg, but the left leg is almost non-functional. So I use my right leg to walk, but it's also 20-30% impacted because of the polio. So because of this limitation, I'm not able to use the traditional bicycle. Yeah. So during my childhood also, right? So I used to go to schools. There's different PT sessions, sports sessions, and various games. But because the teacher already knew that I cannot use it, so they just give me the time off. So I used to feel like, yeah, this is very nice. Everyone is struggling with the sports, but I'm enjoying in the backseat, and I can just sit back and then just taunt somebody who is falling down and all those stuff. So yeah, that was my initial participation in the sport. I wasn't involved during the childhood. I was involved in the sports at all. But after the 10th, when I started diploma in my IT computers, there was a few guys who were doing the bodybuilding. So yeah, so I was just joining with them, along with them, just going there and then just helping them, or just like doing some exercises with them. So during the diploma part, I was just started doing the exercise and gym sessions with them, but I was actually thinking anything to go into the bodybuilding or something like that. Then when I went to engineering, I did my engineering in computer science in Sangli, Maharashtra. So yeah, so that time I doing the bodybuilding just a bit seriously, and then I just competed the college level. Yeah, so during that college level competition itself, so there was lots of cheers from my friends, my college colleagues, and in fact from my teachers. So that was the experience which I, like, you can say a bit of famous in the college. Almost everyone was like, yeah, yeah, this guy is a Prashant. Yeah, he's a bodybuilder with the special able body, and then stuff like that. So but yeah, I mean, it's just a participation. There wasn't any serious involvement as such, and then I was good with my upper body because of the all the exercises. So yeah, after the college, I started doing my job. And once you know that once we start the job, it's like, yeah, we are earning money, and then there is a time period. It's very fixed. And then I was in Pune doing my first job. The job, initial job was quite hectic. Like we start early morning training around like 7 to 8 o'clock, and then finish by 7-8 in the evening. So there was almost no time to go for any training. So I stopped going to gym, any activity. So it's like 2-3 years just went by. So it was initial learning stage of the company, everything. Then I got opportunity to get the job in Malaysia. So I went to Malaysia again. There wasn't much involvement, and after the Malaysia, I then shifted to Singapore around 2010. Yeah. So when I came back to Singapore, the culture here is very good actually. So you mind your own business. You do your job in between 9 to 5 or 9 to 6. That's it. After that is everything is yours. It's life, your own life. You do whatever you want. So during that period, I got to introduce to this force called kayaking. Yeah, it's very nice. So you just go to the waters, go into the boat, and then just you paddle across. Yeah, I got to know some friends and everyone. But that sports is because we are in water, and in Singapore is very hot. Yeah, in the
Yeah.
afternoons is like very calling 37-30 a, and then like in the when you're in the water is very it's more dangerous because of the UV and the sunscreen. So I was started developing the skin rashes and everything. Then unfortunately I had to stop doing that as well. Otherwise I was actually planning to go for the kayaking for a good time period. Then after that, again, I got like 2 to 3 years gap. Then I was again not doing much, but I was regular going to gym, and then just maintaining myself. The problem with my job is 9 to 6 is a sitting job. Yeah, you just sit one place, and the only exercise I was getting in the fingers, just typing, typing, typing. That's it. Only the fingers were getting the strong, but every body was like getting loose.
Most of us are like that, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in IT.
Yes. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So the current company that I work here in Singapore is a healthcare company. I mean, it's a IT agency for healthcare in Singapore. So we provide the IT solutions for all the government hospitals in Singapore. So around 2017, right in the mid 17, I was a project manager for one of the hospital here in Singapore, and their branch was having this rehabilitation and amputee center. Okay, and then I had a project there. So I went to meet the one of the doctor for the requirement gathering, and then see how they're working, and then what exactly the software requirement they have. So after meeting, I was actually going for my to catch a cab and come back to the office. So there, I one of the guy, he was amputee guy. He caught up with me and asked me, "I noticed you're walking differently. Is and then what exactly actually happened to you?" And then he got all the information about me, like the polio and everything background. And he also noticed that I was having the good upper body posture. So he said, "You look strong. Are you involved in any sports?" Then he said, I told him that I'm not much involved into sports. Like I was used to do kayaking and then gym sometimes. Then he said, why not you come and try a paracycling once? Then he explained me what the paracycling is and what exactly they do a training. So here in Singapore, all the para sports, they allocated some locations. It's like they meet in one place, like in a college or some open stadium like that, and then they train there. So for paracycling specifically, they use one of the college ground, the running track, and they train there. So it's like they used to train like every Wednesday and Saturday, 2 hours. Yeah, he said, why don't you come up for trials there and see if you like it? Then I said, yeah, why not? And then, but I wasn't getting any enough time to go there. Like, it's like busy schedule with the project and everything. And then he followed up me with me again one more time, and then say, yeah, yeah, he's nothing to do actually with this sports. Why not we just go away? I was feeling guilty. Why not? I'm avoiding him. I just go there and try the sports. So one day I just decided, and then afternoon I went for the just to see there. I saw like the 7 8 guys doing the cycling. I thought the cycling means it's normal two-wheel cycle. Everyone sit down and then do a cycling. I say, okay. And then when I went there, I saw it's all the wheels, three wheels bike, and everyone is lying down on the bike and easily spinning the cycle. Well, it's like why is this something different? I never saw in noticed something like that in my life, and then say, okay,
Which is a hand cycle, right?
it is a hand cycle. Yeah. So yeah, I then he gave me one bike where they keep it in the workshop there. So he gave me one bike. I sit down in the bike and then yeah, just started to pedal. So it was so smooth. It's very nice. It was very nice cooling day. The breezing was very nice, and then yeah, the feeling, right. I was having actually a bit of upper body strain, and the moment I started paddling the cycle, it was picking up the speed slowly, and then the control was is also very easy. Not like there's no nothing balancing is involved. You just lying down and then just using the hands to paddle. So I did like 15 20 minutes, and then I liked it. Yeah, wow, it's very nice. Then I just continued doing it like 1 or 2 sessions with them, and then yeah. So after doing like the 2 3 sessions, I felt the freedom. Yeah, so it's like you're freely moving around. We were getting the cool breeze, right? And it was very nice. So I like, you can say maybe it's like what do you call love at first sight.
The
Yeah.
try it gives you that. freedom of movement, right? Where you were not used to move that fast before.
Yes.
Now you suddenly have the ability to move fast and also experience that exhilaration of physical activity and wind in the face and
Yeah.
wind in the hair, so to speak.
Correct. Correct. Yes.
And yeah, you it is natural to fall in love, I guess, right?
Yes, yes, yeah. So I always like it. I mean, whenever we go out with my friend on the bike, is the bike the experience of the getting the breeze and then feeling that nice feeling, right? It was very nice. But I never tried on my own. But this hand bike, that it gave me the opportunity to experience on my own, right? So yeah, that's how it started the paracycling. Yeah.
Awesome. So you went and by chance you met this guy who at work basically, and he introduced you to this new world of paracycling and this hand cycle, right?
Yes.
And you went and tried it a couple of times. You fell in love with it. So how did that progress from there to like going and taking part in competitions and stuff?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's actually yeah. So when I started training with the Singapore team, right? So I just continued around like 6 months. So end of the every year, November, December, so the Singapore what do you call the Paralympics team? They organize the yearly competition.
So this guy that introduced you is part of this Singapore para team, is it?
Yes. Right.
Oh,
Yeah. He
okay,
was
very
now
nice.
he's not doing it anymore. Yeah.
But
So
at that time,
at that time he was a national team member. Yeah, yeah,
oh, awesome. Yeah.
right. So the Paralympics team, they organize this yearly competitive level, just internal, just Singapore team competitions. So I did participated into that. So it was open to all paracyclists. So I just participated in that, and then to my surprise, I won a gold medal into that. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was my first medal, and even my coach was like very happy to see that result, and then I was actually really enjoying that competitive and then the training process, and then yeah, I got the first gold medal. And all my friends, my colleagues were attended to that event, and then everybody was very happy. So that was like I was like, yeah, this is something. Yeah, it's very when the people were cheering me like, yeah, go Prashant, and then when I won the medal, and then hippie hooray for Prashant, everyone. So everyone is cheering, right? So that cheering, that feeling, that it gave me that motivation. Yeah, I should continue working for it. After that, so
So
I
so this
uh,
was in 2017 itself.
it's in 2017, right? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So after that, I reach out to Singapore coach. I told him that yeah, I really like this sport and I want to really take it to the next level. Then he explained me what exactly the para sports and what the paracycling is, and then if you want to go for competitive levels, you have to go for a national level, then Asia level, and then there is a World Cup and the World Championship, everything. But that time I wasn't actually targeting going for a World Cup or World Championship, but just to target like Asia level. Okay. The very difficult part was even now, if you want to find out what exactly happening in India for paracycling, how do I approach authority to if I want to go for paracycling? I'm training, I have my outputs, everything. I want to go for competitive levels. Then how do we approach? How do we register as a national athlete? There's nothing much information available. Yeah, so almost new. And in fact, that during this 2017, the first time I had to know about there is this kind of a sport, paracycling kind of a sport, and it is
Exactly.
at the Olympic level. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I wasn't knew about it, and then when I start inquiring like what happens in India, everybody asking me what is this sport, and I never heard about it, so I don't know what to do, what to answer you. So it's like that. So we tried many approach and many people to reach out to. Even my cycling coach Singapore, he tried to approach the cycling federation India, but there wasn't much awareness during that time. Then luckily, around December, I we got a post. I mean, my coach got a post, and he shared me the link that last year, I think 2017, early 2017, Indian team went for paracycling. So these paracyclists are the normal cyclists. They use the two-wheel paracyclists, where they are either amputee guys, so they use one leg to paddle, or maybe a polio affected, but one leg is stronger, so they can paddle and then balance it. So so 2016, 2017 Asia Cycling Championship, the India won the some medals, and it was backed up by this foundation called Aditya Mehta Foundation.
Right.
Yeah. Then from that post, I actually searched the Aditya Mehta Foundation. I got the contact, and then tried to reach out to them, and then I got into connected with them. And then I got to know that what's the process to get into paracycling. Right. So right now in India, or you can say that mostly the paracycling is through the Aditya Mehta Foundation, and then it goes to Cycling Federation of India. Yeah, so they are the one like assisting us for entire process. Yeah.
Excellent.
So, right. So from there, actually, they asked me to come down to Hyderabad for trials. Yeah, so I went around like December, end of December, for the trials, for the Asian Cycling Championship, which was in Myanmar, 2018, February 2018. It was in Myanmar. Yeah. So for that, I went to the trials, and I was the only hand cyclist there. Even they were surprised to see the bike and then the mechanism. I was like, it was a very special feeling on that day actually. Yeah, it went well. The selection went well, and then they say, yeah, it's a very new sport, and then why not we go for paracycling? I mean, get him to go for the Asian Cycling Championship. ACC.
Basically, this wasn't an event that they participated in before, because there were no. So it would be a good way to represent, India in this particular event,
Yeah.
which is hand cycling,
Yeah.
right?
Yes. So yeah, so I was lucky enough actually. The paracycling team in Singapore, right? They lended me their bike to use it, to get it to Hyderabad for the trials. So I had to do some different kind of packing. There was a different box, and everything is carrying it all alone, and it was quite challenging. Even the airport, in the airport, the airlines, they did not know what to do with this kind of a odd bike size. So the normal bike size are different, right? There is like a
Yeah,
rectangle and a
yeah,
standing one.
you
But
can still, it will still fall in a slightly oversized baggage, but it is still kind of manageable, as in suitcase size kind of
correct,
thing.
correct. Mm.
While hand cycle is
Yeah,
even bigger
it's
and
quite
odd size,
big.
right?
Yeah, yeah, it's hot size, and it's and then I was using the aluminium bike. It was very old, and it was a bulky, about like 16, 17 kg bike. So yeah, that was very challenging, and I wasn't actually aware about the mechanical part of the bikes, so I did not know what to do actually. So it's like unpacking the wheels. I started to learn with my Singapore course, and how to unpack how to undo the wheels, put on the chain, and then if the punctures, how to do the puncture and everything. I started to learn with him, and then finally it was like, yeah, get it to the Hyderabad, do the trials. Wow, that was like a roller coaster ride, you can say. Yeah. Uh, uh, when I reached Hyderabad, it was stuck in the scanner, and then I had to wait for 1 hour there. So that was like, oh my god, this is not my bike. This is Singapore bike. If it is lost, it was very expensive. How I'm going to bear the cost and everything? I was so scared about that. But then luckily, nothing happened. They managed to get it
So
out, and
it got in the got stuck in the scanner, is it?
yes.
Okay.
So yeah, that was a horrible experience. Then yeah, but it was a good learning. Yeah, I managed to get it to the Hyderabad and do the trials. Yeah,
Hmm.
and that was the first experience going to international level, going to Myanmar and represent India at the Asia Cycling Championship. Yeah.
So, how was that experience of your first international event at Myanmar? How
Okay.
did it go?
Okay. So at that time there were few, not many, but few countries participated. The Asia countries. I think Thailand, Bahrain, UAE, Singapore, and there was one more country, and then India. So the competitive competition was quite high. The other country, the athletes are the full-time athlete. They only do training. They only do the paracyclists, and they have the experience like 10 to 15 years of experience doing this, just the hand cycling, and then maybe other sports. Yeah. So the competition was quite high, and they have experience. It was the first ITT that I was doing it, and then it was quite hot that day. I mean, the weather was not suitable for us to participate. It was very odd weather that day, and then yeah,
What
overall official
what was the distances? What are the events like for hand cycling? What were the typical distances?
um, for okay, so for paracycling there are mainly two level of competitions is the ITT, the individual time trial. So for Paralympics level, the okay, for paracycling also is managed by UCI, like actual the cyclist also, right? So it's under UCI also. So their rule is ITT minimum is 23 and maximum is 33 kilometer for
Okay.
paracycling. And
Hmm.
second race is the road race. So individual time trial is something like race against the time. So you start
Correct.
on your own, start your race. Then after 1 minute, the second rider will start, and then finish as if you finish as fast as the faster rider will win. Yeah. Then
Correct.
the road race is where everyone start together. Yeah. So
Yeah.
everyone start together, and then the first person cross the line will be win, right? So something same. For the road
Right.
race, minimum is about 45, and then maximum is 85 kilometers.
Okay. Okay.
So these are the only two races for applicable for us. Yeah, there are some other events we participate. Is I mean, it's not the competitive level, but some other events like the relay race, the meta duathlon or the triathlon part. So somebody will run, then I will do the bike, and somebody will swim, something like that. So it's like a
Right.
relay race combined together. Yeah, it's
Right.
just supporting and then like pushing the sports to the general public like that. Yeah,
Right.
competitive level two only. Mm.
Hmm. So where did you end up in Myanmar? Which
Okay, so Myanmar, I finished at fourth position. Yeah,
Okay.
and the difference was quite big actually. It's about 2 minutes difference from the bronze medal.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah,
Uh,
but it was a good experience. It was first experience. I learned a lots of things. There were so many things to learn. When I was actually looking through this Thailand team, like there is a specific warm up regime that you have to follow before the race, and the diet has to be very precise on that day. I mean, and then the water intake, the sodium intake, the carbs, and everything. There's so many things I learned.
right. So
Yeah, like
these first events
hmm,
kind of become a
yeah,
very eye-opening kind of experiences, right?
yes.
Where
So
you tend to see so much and learn so much.
yes,
You will also understand where you are with respect to the others in the field. So
yes,
it becomes a really good experience. That's why it is important to start even though you are not ready
correct.
on so many ways in so many different events, right?
Yeah,
So that would have been a really good experience for you in terms of understanding the competition, understanding your own level against the competition, and
yes,
also the various ways to kind of train. You mentioned warming up, the
yeah,
nutrition, hydration, and
hmm,
all those things, right?
yeah. Of course, right.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, so it was very nice experience, and then I happened to meet Naveen, Arvin. Yeah, they were there for their able body Asian Cycling Championship. Yeah, so they were like the elite level, and then we were like looking at them all, and the bike were like awesome bikes, and yeah, they were quite good actually. Yeah, we had a nice.
Awesome. So you gained that experience and you came back. And what was your next major event, and when was this?
Okay, so after that, actually, there wasn't much for us to um, compete in the Asia level. Okay, so we only had the Singapore national championship. So I did participate in them with them, but because I'm not Singapore national, there wasn't any points for us. So it just participation level, and the coach from Singapore team was very active. So he was actually planned their entire year plan, and then what are the competitions they could go. But for the paracycling, majority of the games happens in the Europe or US side. Yeah, so they were planning the majority are like Europe side, but it's very expensive. Getting visa was challenging, and getting the bike also there was another aspect, because I was using the Singapore bike, and I just cannot ask them to give me the bike for every other competition, right? Yeah, so that those were the challenges. So but for that year, I mean 2018, after that Myanmar event, I tried to work out with the Singapore coach, and then managed to get the bike at least for one competition during that year. So we prepare. Then I participated for one competition, which was in Sweden. Yeah. So that level was like totally extreme level. The Asia level, maybe you can say um, beginners
We're
level,
still, yeah,
and then
we're still in the
level.
beginning level, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So in the when we went to Sweden, there was like many athletes from the European continent, and then Belgium and the Germany, those guys. So they were like super fast. Even the Thailand guys were like the last batches, and then I was the second last, and then top level everyone is the Europeans, and then there was like a 5 to 10 minutes gap for the Thailand people. So I was like, wow, man, these guys, what exactly they do, I mean, what exactly they train. It is something amazing. So, yeah. So
So
that
there is a big gap even from the top level in
yeah,
Asia
yes,
to those top guys in Europe, right? So that gap is quite big.
yes,
It's years and years of training, and it's a part of their culture.
yeah,
So yeah, that
right,
would be, and also the number of competitions they part. It is also a
yeah,
function of number of races they participate in,
mm,
the kind of quality of training and quality of equipment, everything kind of plays
yes.
into the sport.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Yes, definitely, definitely. So one thing I noticed there when I went to this Sweden competition, their bike was like super slick. I asked one of the guy who won the gold medal. So I asked him like about the bike. He said this bike is it was a fully carbon body bike, is weigh around like 8.5 kg. So my bike was 16 kg. So like 8.5 kg. You know, oh my god, what? Okay. And he was having the disc wheels as fully carbon disc wheels, and everything properly prepared for the time trial. Like the how many gears should be for the bike, and then what gear ratio should use it. Everything was prepared and the charted for very well into that. And he also mentioned that it is something they use it for every day. They commute on bike. They use the bike for the training. It's like every day. I mean, they are just attached to the bike all the time. Yeah. So that's how it's like. It's a part of their body. It's kind of that kind of a training they're doing there. So
Right.
it,
It is part of the culture because they use the bike for getting around everywhere, and it's it's basically, like you said, it becomes part of their body.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So one of the struggle is during the Sweden time trial, they had a U-turn. Okay, so for hand cycle, so we are paddling, we are lying down, we are paddling with the two hands, and the front wheel is controlled to move left and right. So we use that to the U-turns. So for my bike is I have to like twist quite hard to get a proper U-turn, and that U-turn in the Sweden was a very smaller, a narrow one. So these guys were like good high speed and then like zoom. The U like wow, I didn't notice. I was on the U-turn. I was trying to turn slowly because I was scared. It's very narrow, and then this guy like overtook me like just zoom and then like vanished in front of me. Like it's like I was playing with the toy car and then he was in the F1 car or something like that, right? So it was the exact feeling. Then I said well, after one lap. I said no, no point struggling here. These guys are like extreme. So yeah, I just finished the race. Once we finish the race, we still get some points. So that was the benefit of that. And then the important aspect is the learning part. Yeah. So the majority of the points we learn. So I use that for the next competitive levels. Yeah. So
Excellent.
after that
S-
event, actually then I thought that I cannot actually depend on the Singapore team to lend me the bike. I have to get my own bike. Yeah. Then and from that moment I started saving bit money every month, and then in 2019 finally I got my own bike. Yeah, so it's took me about like 1 year to get the nice good bike. Yeah.
Okay. So what are the costs like for these bikes? We know that road bikes can go quite expensive,
Yeah.
but these are also quite expensive and quite a bit of technology and quite a bit of moving parts involved, right?
Right.
So what is the typical cost of these?
Okay, so the usual there are different modes actually. So like what we have the ITT bike, and then the more, various companies in your bikes, right? The Canon and everything. So every company has their own prices. Similarly, in hand bike, there are minimum there are 3 to 4 companies, but they have their own versions of mechanism. So one of the top selling bikes is the carbon bike from USA. It's the company name itself, Carbon Bike USA.
Okay.
So 90% of the pro athletes level they use these carbon bike bikes, and there's one more called Walterness, which is actually more advanced from this carbon bike, which is extreme level. So this carbon bike is about the carbon bike USA with the wheels and the gears and everything. The full bike you can say comes around like now the current price is about 15,000 USD.
Wow.
Yeah. So in INR roughly about 12 to 13 lakhs, I think. Yeah.
Phew, man. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like when I was doing, I wanted to buy it, and then I told my wife and my parents that this is something bike I'm interested in, and I want to buy it. They asked me what's the price. So during that time, it was about 10 lakhs. Yeah, so I told them that 10 lakhs. What? Are you mad or what? 10 lakhs? I can get like 20 bikes, the motorbike in my in India, right? 20 motorbike, and you're just spending for one hand cycle, which is I'm not sure how long you're going to use it, and if you're going to use it, it's the only one person. Nobody else can use it. So why are you investing it? Then, but I said no. I want to do this. This is my passion. This is something I really want to do it for my own self. Then yeah, I did some crowdfunding, but yeah, I got a bit of help, but not much. Yeah, but then is I said no, I want to do this. I want to take this to the next level. Yeah, then I
Yeah, man, I thought, I mean, cycling in general is expensive, but the equipment, the hand cycle you mentioned might have been the most expensive, more expensive than normal bikes. The
yes,
Pinarellos and all
mm,
uh, are in the similar range, right? The top end
yeah,
ones.
it's almost
Yeah, yeah.
similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Do you also have like equivalent of a time trial bike versus road bike kind of differences, or
Uh, no,
more
not
or
really.
less same?
It's more or less same. Yeah, for
Right.
road bike or the time trial is almost same bike, and only difference is for time trial you need to be very fast, so they use the disc wheels. And for the road is the only changes is the wheels. They change the wheels
Okay.
and then the gear ratio based on the terrain.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Nice. So you went to Sweden. You had this experience again, another eye-opening experience, and you came back and spent made this decision to invest in your own bike,
yeah,
uh, which the Singaporean guys were kind enough to lend you till then. But you wanted to have your own bike and not go through the whole process of borrowing it and all that, right?
yes,
So now you got your own bike this is 2019.
yeah.
So how did the competitions and all go through from there on?
Unfortunately, after the 2019, okay, we had one competitive level international wheelchair association sports. So it happens like every 2 years, I think, and they combine all the para sports, and then there was one sport for the paracycling. It was supposed to happen in 2020, February 2020 in Thailand. So
Hmm.
I got my bike. I was actually waiting for that competitive competitions, and I was preparing for that. Before going to Thailand, I went back to India for selection and then for preparation to go to the competitive competition. But then, unfortunately, that time the COVID started.
Right.
Early 2020 COVID started. We were actually hoping that they will just continue with the sports first, but then by the time when we reached to the February, everything was chaos, and then they canceled the sports. Yeah, then yeah, there's nothing much. So after getting the bike, is like I was just using for the training. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, just like continue training. Yeah, for
Hmm.
2020 and 2021, we were just using it for training at home or whenever possible go out. Yeah,
Okay.
but then I got the chance to compete with this bike in last year, April 2022, which was in Tajikistan. Yeah, so
Hmm.
again, Asian Cycling Championship. So during that time, I won the bronze medal in my category. Yeah,
Okay.
so that's
Awesome. Final.
first international medal for India. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. So
Yeah.
this Kazakhstan race was the event in ITT or the Mastart? Where did you get that?
Okay, it was ITT. Okay, so it
Mhm.
was a 15-kilometer time trial. Yeah. The challenge what we had is there were two challenges for us actually. Weather, it was 12 13 degrees Celsius
It's
in
quite cold.
it's quite cold for us here. I mean, in India at least we have three seasons, right? Like winters, rainy, and the summer. In Singapore is summer all the time. Yeah,
Right.
and
Hot
if
and
it's
humid.
yeah, it's and very humid, and it's like almost every day. If it is very hot, 37, 38 in the evening, it will rain for 10, 15 minutes. So this is the weather for entire year. So there is no cold, nothing, and we are almost not used to the cold at all. So that was the biggest challenge there. But good part is we already got to know about the warm up and everything, the nutrition part. We could had to we got that rhythm properly to get body warm up properly for that weather. So that was a good part, but it was challenging part because we are literally shivering, and then the handle was that's very cool to hold properly. Yeah, but okay, we finished that. The second part is uh, the road was 7.5 uphill and 7.5 downhill. So it's
Wow.
like, yeah, entire is uphill, nothing else. So that's the only training the race was. And then they changed quite a time. I mean, when we reached there, when we did a recce for entire route, it was a different route. And then again on the next day, they say it's changed something else. And then on the race day, race timing they also changed it to something else. So on the race we did not able to get the recce on the track. So it's like 7.5 is uphill, I think about 15% gradients or something like that. And yeah, yeah, it was quite tough. And then the problem with the hand bike is the gravitational force is entirely you're actually lying down, the pulling
Right.
down is all
Right.
pull down, right? So that was a very challenging part. So it's for a short, we used to train here in Singapore, but it's very Singapore is almost flat. Everywhere you go
Right.
is flat.
No,
Hard,
no major hills, right?
no major hills or maybe like just 100 meter or through 200 meter small hills, that's it, finish. So that's the only training we used to get it, but then it's like a 7.5 kilometer, like the entire uphill. So what's it was challenging, but I slowly got the rhythm and then finished the 7.5 kilometers first, and then coming back was very nice. So the handbike has both advantage and disadvantage. So disadvantage is going uphill is very challenging, and you have to really struggle. And then like you can literally feel that something flowing. The lactate is accumulated here, and then it's not going at all. It's like just stuck there. You can feel that. But the coming down downhill is very smooth. It's very nice, and you can go about like I was going about 55 60 speed average speed on that one. So the aero you get on the handbag is very nice. So even the normal bike, you even if you go for the TT position, also you won't get that speed. You can get it in the handbag because you're
Because it is quite low, right?
yeah, and then it's
Yeah.
very smooth. Yeah. So it was
Awesome.
very good experience. Yeah. So that uphill and then the weather was the two challenging part, but yeah, we luckily managed to push and then finish to the podium.
Awesome. Congratulations on
Thank you.
your medal. So from then on, this was when last year, which
April 22. Yeah,
April 2022.
correct.
Af- After that, did you have more competitions? How did it go?
I wanted to go for World Championship, which was in Germany. Yeah, I wanted to go for that, but I tried applying visa, but I didn't get the visa in time, so I couldn't get to go for that. And then after that, there's no chance again. I didn't get any chance, but I was actually waiting for this year. So I have a planned competitions, and now I know like the visa process actually have to be start very early stage. Yeah, so everything, hopefully this year I will get more chance to participate. Yeah.
What are some of the events lined up for this year?
Okay, so this year the few this early here we have few competitions here in Singapore. Then we have a World Cup in Belgium, May, I think May, yeah, May 25 20 something, yeah. So it's in Belgium. May in Belgium is World Cup. Then we have Asian Cycling Championship in Thailand, which is in June. Uh, then we have one more one more race, Asia level, and then after that we have August is World Cup, World Championship, which is in USA. I think so. Yeah. Let
Hmm.
me just quickly show you. Maybe just go check the list.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But it sounds like quite a full calendar.
Yes.
So, it would be a busy year. So, will you be able to manage the kind of training and the work and family? What are some of the things that you do to kind of manage that?
Okay. That is so far it's been quite okay. So the office is as I told you, like it's 9 to 6. It's quite okay, but only sometimes because we are in IT, sometimes we have to do support activities, which is a late night also. So that's the only time I had to manage the training and the office timing. Otherwise, it's mostly 9 to 6. So in the morning, 2 3 hours, and in after office evenings are like free for me. So I use that timing to maximize my training it as much as possible. And I have a 4 years old daughter now. Yeah, and now is the age that they seek more attention. They just like they want to play around, and then go out to the gardens and then enjoy with us. But then during my training, I am unable to give her a timing. So there are fixed days. Yeah, so this there I mean, now because we are started training very rigorously, I have the certain days where I'm doing long endurance sessions or the power sessions with the longer hours. So that time I couldn't just spend time with the family. So yeah, so there is some trade-off. I have to ask them to spend their own time and maybe go out, meet their own friends, and go outside somewhere so I can train with them. But luckily, my daughter is also kind of excited about these sports. So sometimes when I go training or go to the gym, I also bring along with me. Yeah, and so she also enjoys some process, and I can take care of her, and then take do my own training also. Yeah.
Nice, nice. So, how many days a week do you train, and how does your typical training cycle look like?
Okay. So right now my regime for training is almost 6 days a week. Yeah, and then one day is off. Is not actually the off, but active recovery is like not cycling, no gym, but just doing some stretchings and just recovery and maybe do some yoga kind of a thing. But otherwise, other 6 days are mostly on the bike. 6 days on the bike and 3 sessions on gym. Yeah, so I manage that timing. So 6 days of cycling is Monday is recovery, uh, Tuesday is the power sessions. So it's a interval, maybe 4 minute interval, 8 minute interval, and then we do that power sessions. Wednesday is recovery again, recovery with the sprint sessions, hit maybe some short hit sessions. Thursdays are endurance. We target 12 to 20 minute interval sessions, or like 3 to 4 sets or 2 sets, something like that. Yeah. Friday is just zone two long ride, 1 hour, 2 hour, or maybe sometimes 3 hours rides. Saturday is off, and then Sunday is when we get the chance to go outside. Yeah. So in the weekdays, it's all internal indoor training. On the Sunday morning, we go out Singapore in the on the roads. Yeah.
Hmm.
So
So, for indoor training, I'm just curious as to how does the indoor training work for a hand cycle?
okay. So if you if you consider the
Are you able to use normal trainers, or is it a different one?
so right now I'm using the normal trainer. Is the
Hmm.
wheel on cycle? The trainer is the trainer is from the cycling ops company. It's a
Cyclops.
Cyclops
Hmm.
company, magnet trainer. Is something like the bike is same, but for the bike you put it on the back wheel, right? So for us
Right.
it's a front wheel, and then it's in the reverse direction.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's
Hmm.
same mechanism but in the reverse direction. So that's the only thing. Yeah, so
All right.
otherwise the same direction. Yeah, and
Okay.
the cassette what you have in on the back side is usually on the right side. Is for us it's also on the right side, but it's, I mean, when you turn it around it's on the actually on the reverse side. Yeah, but
Okay.
almost same mechanism. Yeah. So
All
I
right.
also have the 1136T cassette in front, and 5060 the chain ring. So the same mechanism, almost same mechanism. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice.
The difference is if you go for those Wahoo wheels off trainer, where you just mount
Smart
on the
trainers.
smart trainers, right?
Wheel
Yeah.
of smart trainers.
Correct, correct. So
Mm.
the difference is for you is you just put it on the ground, and then you just plug your back wheel, take off the back wheel and then put it on the trainer. For us, it will not work. If you bring it to the front side, it won't work. So what other athletes do it on the Belgium guys on all those international level, what they did is they turn it to upside down.
Okay.
Yeah, so the same trainer, the smart trainer, they turn it to upside down and then hook it on the table.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
So
maybe
they they fix the trainer upside down to something so that
correct.
they are able to connect the front wheel
Front wheel to
cassette
the trainer.
and use it for hand cycling.
hand cycling training. Yes.
Oh,
Maybe I
interesting.
will
Yeah.
share with you the picture so you'll get the clear idea. So yeah,
All
that's
right.
so you have to get the trainer plus the table to hook it onto, and it has to be
Correct.
very strong because when you do the sprints, it's like very wobbly. Yeah,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
yeah, something like that. So actually, I wanted to get it, but then it's very expensive, and then getting that kind of a table here in Singapore is a bit challenging also. So I'm still trying to figure it out if I can get it or not. So yeah, there are
Mhm.
very few athletes who has it, and yeah, it's a different setup altogether.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Mm.
everything because it is kind of need to be made to that different specification.
Yeah.
Kind of ends up a little expensive. I
Yes.
think, right?
Correct. Correct.
Uh,
Yeah.
right. Oh, but this has been a fun chat and quite enjoyed talking to you and getting to know your journey so far. What are some of the tips you would give working athletes to do well in sport and
Okay.
work?
Okay. So, frankly speaking, if you are interested into anything, Ryan, you will definitely get some excuses to do it. Yeah, you cannot say that I don't have time, so I cannot train. Uh, I don't have the support. I don't have the equipment, so I cannot do it. So if you like it, you no matter what, you will get the things set up for you. Yeah. So that's the thing actually. So if you want to do something, you just develop your interest and then just focus on it. I think then when you're focused on it, the things will automatically happen. Yeah. So
Where there
that's
is a will, there is a way. You will
yeah.
find a way.
And there is a will, there is a way. Absolutely right. Yes. Yeah.
Awesome, man. Thank you for taking the time and sharing your experience with the Working Athlete podcast.
No problem. It was honor to be here and then great. Yeah. Great
All the
session.
very best for your upcoming competitions. I hope you get more and more medals for India.
Yes, yes. I will try my best. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was my conversation with Prashant. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. If you are enjoying these podcasts and are finding them useful, please consider supporting the channel by subscribing to it on YouTube as well as on your favorite podcasting app. It really helps. Thanks again for your continuous support. See you next week with another guest.